Shalom, all praises be unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rachakadash. Double honor unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who rule well, and he taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom. And, the title of this one is, we're 8 steps ahead, all right? Because here's an article, and that's just a play on words, because here's an article from the Sky News saying researchers identify 8 habits that could help you live more than 20 years longer. Now, we know that it's not our desire to live long and fulfilled lives on this side, okay? Where it concerns being in the system and, fulfilling your worldly potential. We've forsaken all for the ministry's sake, as the scripture says. But whilst here, we have to look after ourselves. And, we can only effectively give back our best onto the ministry when we take care of ourselves, right? On a health tip, right? And it's heavy that, it's been going on for a few months, but, within the last couple of days, there's been an intensified emphasis from the apostles on down, the bishops on down, about health, man. Okay, and brothers are all kind of different body types and different health conditions and, whatever, man. But, the information and the emphasis has been pushed out there for us to take care of our physical estate. Okay, and this article got released this morning at 10:44, and it says it's been known that certain health habits can influence lifespan. And it's not only about lifespan, which is how long you live. It's about the quality of your life, okay? But now researchers have pinpointed 8 factors that could have the biggest impact. So we're going to have a quick read through this. A study pinpointed 8 factors that have the biggest impact on lifespan: being physically active, not smoking, managing stress, having a good diet, not regularly binge drinking, not having an opioid addiction, sleeping well, and having positive social relationships. Okay, so let's go through each of these, man, in light of scripture. All right, it said, what's the first one? Being physically active, man. Okay, guess what, man? The Lord made our bodies apt to work. Okay, being lazy actually deteriorates the body. This is the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 9. And it says, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and earth, which we know the blueprint came from the Father, and the actual work was carried out by the Elohim, Yahushai, and the first fruit of angels, the elect, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord Yahweh blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it. Okay, now, we have, so basically the body is made to work. We're made to work 6 days. Even the physical nature of man, the carnal state of man on earth, Our bodies are made to work. Okay, it was Adam's job to dress and keep the garden. Okay, but the seventh day would be a rest. So that cycle of 6 days work, 1 day rest is optimum for a man's body to operate at, man. Now obviously we would go on to have other high holy days, the ending of one moon cycle and the coming in of the new moon. You'd have Sabbaths in succession, other high holy days where no work could be done, no servile work. So there would be extra rest days in between. But aside from the high holy days, the new moon, the regular Sabbaths after that, it would be 6 days of work and then a rest. Okay, so for the most part, obviously, like I just explained very briefly, due to all other high holy days and stuff, we have other rest days. Okay, but the cycle of 6 days work, 1 day rest is optimum for man. Okay, so it said here, being physically active, that could be, doing whatever, man. I remember watching that film, The Karate Kid. I watched the old one, Daniel San, and the one with that poor soul, Jaden Smith, when he was younger, and Jackie Chan goes to him, Shao Drake, Kung Fu is in everything we do. When you eat is Kung Fu. When you walk is Kung Fu. How you treat people is Kung Fu. Kung Fu lives in us, And when you look at a lot of daily tasks, because I could do a lesson. I think I've done a lesson on that years ago. I may do another one if the spirit wills. But the nature of martial arts and studying the animals, the scriptures speak about that, man. A lot of those daily, or autonomy motions of the body and doing things, that's actually where a lot of moves and exercises comes from with the Oriental arts. And when I say Oriental arts, don't think of Moab and Ammon. Orient just means of the East, which really goes back to us. Okay, for example, jacket on, jacket off. That is actually a basic block. One of the most basic blocks where it concerns Kung Fu. Okay, so being physically active doesn't mean sports only, or boxing only, or Muay Thai only, or Jiu-Jitsu only. Being physically active could be, not being lazy and, instead of using the dryer, hang your clothes out on the line outside. That motion of bending down in the basket, picking up the clothes and reaching up to hang it. You do that, guess what? That's bending up and down. You're keeping your back, your spine fluid, man. Washing dishes, building, anything that's physically active, it literally is physically active. Then you've got it, brothers go on walks, that's being physically active, increasing your heart rate, getting blood pumping around the body. Okay, then you've got your actual martial arts, man. Okay, some brothers box, some brothers are into various Oriental arts. The jiu-jitsu, all kind of things, man. Running, treadmill, all of these are physically active. Being physically active, and the scripture says, well, look, man, where it concerns all these things, there's a period of 6 days to do that, So the Bible promotes being physically active, man. In fact, a lazy son was to be put to death, man. Okay, so the Lord is very much on the side of being physically active. Okay, not smoking, right? Not abusing particular herbs, things of that nature. There's a common one. There's nothing wrong with it. People want to demonize the marijuana plant. There's nothing wrong with the marijuana plant. It's a very useful herb, man. Okay. However, when ingested in the wrong fashion, it can have detrimental, negative impacts on the body. But if taken correctly, like in teas and stuff, or beaten down, and put into balms and stuff, it can help. It can help with like joint pains. I remember being out there a couple of months ago. I was out there in sometimes I get tired of, like, not even tired, but it's like you're shutting down in London, man. Either I take trips out of London. I was out of London, I was up in the Midlands, 'cause I used to live up there for a bit. I'm originally from London, but I lived up in the Midlands for a couple of years, then came back down to London. London's demonic, man. So sometimes, I can't take it, so I just go on trips. I'm a brother. I like traveling places, man. So I was out of London, I was up in the Midlands a couple of weeks ago, but about just over a year, I was out there in Holland for like 3 days, man. I was out there in Holland. I was in Amsterdam, and on the TV in the hotel, it was late night, and the TV was on in the hotel, and them like them commercials where they try and sell you stuff, right? They was selling marijuana balms, and if you rub it on your back or your knee and stuff, it can help with joint pains. So there's many uses for the marijuana plant. You can grind it down, beat it into a balm cream. You can boil it, drink it as a tea, gets rid of a lot of health things, And this is all under fair use. Don't want it to come under medical misinformation. But yeah, man, not smoking. You got your regular cigarettes as well. They even put it on the packet. Smoking kills, man. Okay, managing stress. Now, what's the number one way to manage stress? Prayer. Yeah, these are 8 things that can help you live longer, right? Well, I'm adding it can help you live longer, but I'm also adding it can also improve your quality of life. Guess what? Managing stress, the key way to manage stress is to pray, man. Okay, let's see, the scripture says, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 4 and 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Stress could be a whole. I don't even want to start listing things, because there's a whole host of opportunities. There's a whole host of options that we could go down the list of things that are stressful. Okay. But whatever the stress is, the scripture says, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace. What does that mean? That means to pray, man, that we may obtain mercy. Lord, I'm going through it. Have mercy on me, man. But that's done through prayer. And find grace to help in time of need. When you're stressed out, you're in a time of need, man. People signing up for counseling classes, people talking about, wrapping it up and checking themselves out of planet Earth. Speaking in code. People do all kind of things. Memory loss starts kicking in. They don't know what's going on because they're stressed. Well, guess what? Managing stress, the number one management for stress is prayer. Because Yahushua has made it possible through being the ultimate high priest that we can come boldly before the throne of grace. Okay, so stress management is is tackled through prayer, man. Now you've got the brotherhood, you've got speaking to brothers, getting different takes on things, help from brothers, but the ultimate help is the Lord, which is accessed through prayer, man. Okay, you know, managing stress leads on to the next one, having a good diet, man. You know, look, man, you buy a car, right? You know, you got on it was over here in England, you got unleaded regular, you got unleaded premium, you got diesel, you got diesel regular, you got diesel premium. Yeah? If you're driving a diesel car and you put unleaded fuel at the petrol station, okay, when you drive off the petrol station, you're gonna drive for about a minute maximum, and then something's gonna not feel right. Then something's not gonna smell right. And next thing you know, smoke is coming out of the bonnet. And if you keep driving that car, it's eventually gonna catch fire and blow up. Okay? Funny enough, there's a petrol station not too far from where I live, and about 10 years ago, I saw that happen, man. Okay, the car was on fire, and pretty much the reason why when the person pulled over and got out, the fire brigade had to come, and oh no, I put the wrong gas in. Yeah, okay, you know, so it's the same thing with our bodies, man. Okay, you could put the right thing in, but the wrong quantity ain't gonna do it. You know, you could put too little in, you could put too much in. That's quantity wise, and you could put the right thing in, or you could put the wrong thing in. Okay, that's just common sense, man. To live a longer life, and as I said, I'm adding a better quality of life. You gotta eat good, man. Having a good diet. Okay, the scriptures speak about that. A man that taketh care for his meat. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have care for his meat and diet. You know, sometimes, you know, that depressed thing happens, right? A cheerful and good heart is the mind, right? Sometimes depression kicks in because you're eating too much of the wrong food, man. You know, I found that when I eat an overabundance of meat, I'm not as sharp on my brain, you know, more forgetful, more slow, more sluggish, more tired, and also you think more negatively, man. Okay, but when you balance out your meat with other good foods, you know, and you take care of it, you know, you become cheerful, you become upright, you become more positive in the mind. Okay, but this happens, this is obtained partly or largely to do with your diet, man. Okay, you know, not drinking enough water, you know, your body is not hydrated, you know, too much alcohol, you know, you know, just not having a balanced diet, man. Okay, so eating a balanced diet is very much promoted in scripture. Okay, and what I will say is that you know, well, I kind of made the point already, man. The Bible does promote eating a balanced diet, man. Yeah, that's the point I was gonna make. Rakthea Washing Rashai came back. Also the type of diet you're eating as well, man. You know, it's best to jump on a Mediterranean, so-called Mediterranean, Greek type of diet, you know, because that's how we ate in the ancient world. You know, all these dishes that Jake have today, they taste great, but guess what? It's a product of slavery, man. You know, right? Jake is the fulfillment of give him lemons, he'll make lemonade. Some of the baddest and most tastiest dishes that Jake have to this day is a product of slavery. In the ancient world, those things weren't being made like that. We were given the scraps and we made dinner out of the scraps. Okay? That's why a lot of these slavery dishes, although they taste good, yeah, they put you in an early grave, man. Okay, cancers, cholesterol, high blood pressure, all kind of stuff, man. You know, diabetes. It's coming from the foods we make. Yeah, it tastes good. That ain't the point though. Them dishes were a product of slavery, you know. Okay. Our original diet was a lot of seeds, vegetables, freshly baked bread. Okay, you know, from real flour, meats cooked properly. You know, even the meat intake these days, you gotta get it from like a good source, because you go in the regular supermarket and that ain't even real, man. Okay, so having a good diet, not regularly binge drinking. Yeah, okay, the scriptures speak about that also, man. So we're steps ahead. Okay, the scriptures speak about that. Wine, moderate drinking. It's not coming to mind right now. Wine. Let's just see if it comes up. I'm really trying for the best there. Oh yeah, there we go. It came up. Couldn't remember it. Ecclesiasticus 31:27. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? Or what life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad, you know. And I like drinking, man, you know. But even with that, you have to balance it out, man. You know, wine is as good as life to a man. Okay. You know, there's certain things in life that are high value things to have, you know, especially to an ancient Eastern mindset. You know, milk is good to have. Okay, I'm not talking about the milk you can pick up in your shop today, you know, but milk is good to have in abundance in the household. Honey is good to have. Okay, wine is good to have. Particular oils and perfumes are good to have. Water is good to have. You know, like in a Jake household, there's just always them essentials there. Like, that's just how we are. One of them is wine, but it has to be drunk moderately, you know. And yeah, man. Wine is one of those things. Alcohol in general, you know, you can't look at another brother and say, well, I want to be like that and drink like. You have to have. I'm not trying to sound like a connoisseur or anything, you know, but you have to build your own relationship with alcohol and see how you relate to it and how much you can indulge in it. Okay, because you could be overdoing it and end up in trouble, man. You know, physically. Okay, you know, but it has to be drunk in moderation, right? So there's nothing wrong with it, but it's the quantity of it, man. Okay. So it says, not regularly binge drinking. See, binge drinking is just overdoing it, man. You know, not having an opioid addiction, you know, drugs and stuff, sleeping well. Okay. The scriptures speak about sound sleep. Is it to do with the cola? Again, I can't remember exactly where it's at. Yeah, next verse, or a couple of verses before. Sirach 31:20, sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. So a lot of these key things to having a good life and quality of life, they're all interlinked. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. You know, I can't lie, I'm guilty the other day. I overate, man, you know, and it was some East Indian food, because I fucks with that kind of heavy, man. I was eating some East Indian food and I was hungry, but I knew I was overdoing it, man. And you know when you're halfway into the dish and it's like, okay, I should stop here. But it was a bit of the glutton demon kind of jumped on me. I was like, nah, nigga, you gonna finish this plate. And I stuffed it down because it tastes good, man. But then my chest started feeling heavy, like indigestion, you know. And then from there, my stomach feeling unsettled and my chest feeling heavy. That led to an overwhelming feeling of sadness, okay, in the spirit, man. Because I ate too much, man. And I had to, like, I already knew. And you know when you do something and you know exactly why, you know. So you can't even, like, oh, Lord, please. It's just, hey, man, Yahweh Shem Yoshai, Salakia, forgive me, okay? You know, just don't, I'm accepting what I'm going through. But Bukashar, just don't let it last too long. But forgive me, because I done fucked up and I know exactly why. This is self-inflicted, okay? You know, but overeating can fuck you up, man, and it messes up your sleep because guess what? There's parts of your body that's always working outside of your conscience. You don't have to tell yourself actively breathe in, breathe out, inhale, exhale. You naturally do that. You don't have to tell your heart to beat. It naturally does that. You don't have to tell your stomach to digest food. It naturally does that. Okay? So even when your mind per se is at rest, parts of your body constantly work. And when you give it too much work to do in one go, it gets overwhelmed. And your digestive system goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, we sent out messages to the brain that you should have stopped and you didn't because your taste buds were overindulged. And now you've given us all this work to do and we can't handle this workload, and then your stomach starts hurting you. You know, that's what the messages that's being sent through your body is basically saying. And then your ass gets tired and lays down because of the itis. Now the position you're laying in makes it even all the more harder for your body to break it down. So you're sleeping, but it's discomfort because you're putting your stomach under intense pressure to, people don't think beyond their throat, man. You know, they just think about their mouth and it going down their throat. You know, my thirst is quenched. Yeah, but it doesn't go, nowhere. It goes into your stomach. You're giving your body a job to do. So when it's the wrong quantities or too much, it messes you up. You get pain in your sleep, man. He riseth early and his wits are with him. You can, you getting up late and your head's all over the place because you're not eating in the right proportion. But the pain of watching and cola and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man. And as I said, I think was it Thursday? Probably Thursday night. I was guilty of this myself, man. And, it's happened before, but I'm more conscious with my diet and stuff, man. And things of that nature, man. Because I have a very sensitive stomach. The acids in my stomach act up, man. I was talking to a brother about this a couple of days ago as well, man. I eat the wrong quantities of certain things or not enough of particular foods that have particular nutrients. I get acid reflux just like that, man. And you wanting to vomit and you can't vomit and your stomach's griping you, man. So but hey, man, we ain't perfect. But yeah, that last week Thursday night I was all the way fucked up, man. But this is exactly what happens. You don't eat in moderation, man. Okay. So sleeping well really goes back to food, man. And having positive social relationships. Yeah, having positive social relationships is staying away from niggas and pretty much just dealing with the brotherhood, man. Okay? Now, of course, you're going to have family members and people at the job you've got to interact with. Fair enough. Okay? All in moderation as and when needs be. But for the most part, man, positive social relationships is being around people that are of the same mind as you, man. Okay? You're not going to have a positive social relationship. Your social relationships is what, man? Your woman, if you got one, your immediate family, if you have to be in contact with them, and, outside of your family and that, your woman and that, your social relationships is the brotherhood, man. And it's positive, man. The scripture says that. Okay? Oh, you. The book of Psalms 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's your positive, what does it say? Yeah? Having positive social relationships. Okay? So there you have it, man. You want to hang around brothers more than anyone else, any other group of people, man. Okay? So, I mean, the article goes on talking about some stats and stuff, but that's the main point, man. You got 8 steps, well, guess what? We're 8 steps ahead, man, because of the scriptures, man. The Bible has it all. So, yeah, man, just some points for us to consider. It's heavy that health is getting pushed real heavy in Israel right now. So with that, I'll wrap it up, man. Shalom.